Hello YouTube, good morning. My name is Sam and I'm coming to you from the FPL show. I welcome you to today's discussion. I welcome you to Game Week 8 preview. These games are coming thick and fast and I like this. So welcome, join me. I'm hoping that you're going to enjoy. I'm hoping that you're going to like the proposals that we have. Like we said, game week 7 was not that bad. I had 8 points, another downward spiral as you can see from the screen. And I'm a bit worried and not worried. Worried because as people are so average, most teams are very average. And yet I'm not making up the points. But then again, I've gone around YouTube and I've realized that I'm not alone in this. And I think you'll agree with me that in a good week, everybody is doing well. In a bad week, everybody is doing bad. And a difference of just the captain makes so much difference that I have to be very keen on who to captain this week. So join me in this discussion. I want to be a bit brief. I will not take much of the time. And let's see what to do. So which games are we having this week? So on Saturday, we have 6 games. Brighton versus Spurs. That will be interesting, considering what Spurs did at the Champions League game against Bayern. And I think there's something, this is not FPL related, although it is related because it is affecting the teams that we have. But I think there's something wrong at Spurs. Not just the new stadium, but there's something wrong in that dressing room. I don't want to spread rumors, but you people have heard it. It's now upon you to decide whether you're going to continue banking on Son and Kane. But anyway, even when they have been that poor, at least those two have been bringing back the points for us anyway. So Burnley Everton, I dare say that is a clean sheet for Burnley. Everton have been poor, very poor, and I fear for their manager. Liverpool versus Leicester, Mane and Salah will join the party for this week. After 2 weeks of mishaps, I expect them to do something. Norwich versus Aston Villa to me will be one of the games to watch. 2 promoted teams, now they are playing at the Premier League. If you have Pookie, this is when he comes back to life. Again, if you have McGinn, you cannot afford to bench him. So I expect many goals. Maybe a score draw of 2-2 or 3-2. One of the teams might nick it. Watford versus Sheffield. Expect a 1-0 from either side. So I don't know how you are going to interpret that in terms of FPL. But if you have defenders, you can risk them into that. West Ham versus Palace will be the late kickoff. Again, we'll watch and see Hala or even Lanzini, whether he'll do something. This game might be 2-0 or 2-1 in favor of West Ham. They have really been rising. Even I think the midfield is worth looking at. On Sunday, we have 4 games. Arsenal versus Bournemouth. I won't be surprised by Aubameyang's hat-trick in this game. And I also expect Bournemouth to score. So Wilson and King are good bankers. For Arsenal, we have Aubameyang and even Saka. I think he calls himself Saka. Quite a cheap forward that you can look into. Man City versus Wolves. Expect a mauling. Whether you are going to captain Sterling or De Bruyne or even Aguero, expect some returns from there. So I'm really sure that any person that you go with for Man City, Looking at their midweek game that they won, I think 2-0. They rested the key players. We wait to see whether De Bruyne is back or not. He might not even be risked for this game. If Pep sees any niggle in him, he's not going to risk what happened last season. So I'm not quite keen on captaining De Bruyne for this weekend, but we'll know by Friday. Southampton versus Chelsea. Chelsea have been doing very well, especially away from home. I think that's where the pressure is less on them. And I do believe against Southampton, Abraham can do something. And then, but I don't expect a clean sheet from them. So those people buying Tomori, you might rethink that, or you can even risk it. What do I know anyway? So Newcastle against Man United, that is the last game of the week. And Newcastle have been playing good football, and United have been doing the opposite. If Newcastle United sit back, like Arsenal did last week, they might get something out of this game. If they attack Man United like West Ham did, they will score, but also Man United will score, because United have become that counter-attacking team. So if you have James, it's worth looking into. The clean sheets, I don't know where they are coming from this Saturday. Maybe from Burnley or from Watford. Even Man City can give a clean sheet. Those are the teams that I'm voting for the clean sheet. Man City, Burnley, and Watford. There you have it. Those are my prediction, and that is in terms of the games to bank on. So if I'm not making any change, this is how my team will look like. Otamendi, Randstrom away to Watford, Peters at home against Everton, Sterling, Mane, De Bruyne if he's not injured. Then we have Mount, Abraham, Barnes, and Pukki. So that would be my team if I was not doing any transfer. 3-4-3. But to some extent, I'm worried about my attack, especially Abraham being away from home, Barnes not bringing in the goods. At least Pukki, I'm expecting something from him. I'll be surprised if he blanks this week. But you have had it fast. This season I've been very conservative in terms of my transfers, and I've suffered for it. And this is the season, this is the time when I'm going to revert back to my old self. My old self went for it when they felt like it was worth it. So this is when I wake up again. Why do I mean I wake up again? Because I intend to do 3 transfers. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are my intended transfers. And I'll be waiting for the Champions League games to end and the Europa Cup to end, so that I can see whether these 3 players, at least Kulaguli doesn't have any match over the midweek, but he's just an enabler. But for Aubameyang and Tomori, I think they are coming into my team, bar any problem. So those are the players that I expect to go with, that I expect to sign. I'll take an 8 points hit. I'm hoping that Aubameyang is going to repay me the 8 points immediately. I would have taken 1 transfer only, and that is for Aubameyang, coming in for Barnes, if I had enough funds. But I only had 1.6 in the bank, and I needed to make up the extra, I think around 2.4. So I had to sell Lanzini, I had to sell Bissaka. And even when Tomori is playing away from home and I don't expect him to get a clean sheet this week, I was not about to get for a player just to transfer him the next week. So I believe that with this team, I can go even 3 game weeks without making any change. So I'll update you on social media, on Skype, on Twitter, show you whether I'm going down with it or not. So keep tab. It's at MUFanTV. You can follow us. But ladies and gentlemen, that is what I'm going with. And I've realized that with this team, the good thing with it is that I can call on my bench at any time to come and assist my first team. So if De Bruyne is not playing, I'm sure that I can bring in the Leicester midfielder who hasn't done that bad for a 4.5. Again, I have players that I can confidently bench because they are cheap and not feel like I'm wasting myself. So guys, this is the preview for game week 8. I also want to hear from you the kind of teams that you have, so you can also share on the comment section. You can also advise me in terms of the changes that I want to make. Do you think it's worth it? Do you think I should be taking an 8 points hit? But this is me, and that is why I'm coming. I'm not going to hide under the table and try to do what others are doing. I'll do what I do best. And if I pay for it, at least I followed my guts. And at least I have learned. So I'm hoping by next week, we are going to see green arrows there. I really want to improve. I really want to see myself at the top 100. And I believe that I'm not far off. In terms of captaincy, I'm torn between Aubameyang and Sterling. Depending on whether De Bruyne plays or not. If De Bruyne is not in that game, then I'll go with Aubameyang. But if KDB is back, then I might do it for the 5th time in a row and captain Sterling. So I wish you all the best in the coming game week as you prepare your teams. Follow your gut, follow your heart, do what makes you happy. And that is my model for life. Always do what makes you happy. More importantly, have fun and take care of your family. God bless you. I'll see you next week.